people don't want to fast, those are two things I would tell them as far as nutrition. Get more sodium and eat more fruit. If you don't want to fast, do those two things. Start adding those two things in. Real simple.
Yeah, fruit. I've noticed that. Like last night, for instance, I didn't eat all day, and then I had a big meal, and I was like, "Yo, I should have had fruit an hour ago. It would have like made me more hungry now." And it's a weird concept. It's like, wait, you should have had more food to be more hungry, but I hadn't eaten all day, and I'm still trying to figure that out. But it's like food like engages your stomach and be like, "Hey, it's time to eat now. Let's stretch out and take some food in." Is that right? Is that
kind of? So you eat fruit, and it dictates when you fast the way we do. You go by your appetite, right? And it should be a feast, I believe. It should be a feast. And I don't have the book upstairs, but it's a book from 100 years ago. And I'm reading it for the first time, but it's the same stuff we talk about in the Panda. It should be a big meal. It should be fruit, it should be a lot of fruit within that. But it should be a significant size meal. So when you eat right and you haven't eaten all day, your hunger hormones are going to, like if you're anticipating eating, ghrelin is going to be released, your main hunger hormone. So that kind of actually kicks it off, the thought of food.
Yeah.
When you eat fruit, sometimes now, depending how close you ate to it, it's going to stretch, hit those stretch receptors in the stomach. So for a lot of people, it actually put the brakes on for them, because that's a big fear people have, is they're going to, I'm fasting, but I'm going to eat like crazy. I said, first of all, no, you won't. You're not going to overeat in that meal. The people you'd have to watch overeating in that meal would be like people that are obese already. They're very insulin resistant, but those types of people should be fasting a lot longer. They should be fasting 3 days at a clip and then eating, and then fast 3 days and then eat. I mean, that's what I would do if I had 100 pounds to lose.
Right.
Then you heal that. So then even in that case, they're not going to overeat at that one meal. So you think of things along those nature, but yeah, when you eat, you basically have, for the appetite, before satiety starts kicking in, 15 to 20 minutes before it really hits your brain as far as, okay, I'm full. But now fasting, I found that you're much more conscious of your appetite and your hunger. Your hunger is more of a hormone. That's more of a hormonal thing going on within your body. And hunger is more emotional for most people. When they're really hungry, it's like, well, you could be hungry, but let's see what the appetite is, and let's see what you're doing with your eating plan to see if the hunger actually equates to you needing to eat.
Yeah, that's when I noticed it, because I remember you said something about hunger versus appetite. And it's like I'd hang out late watching my favorite basketball team about 5 years ago. My favorite player was Chris Paul, and he was on the Clippers. And I had to sit there and watch those games at 12:30 at night. Then it would start doing hack-a-shack to the center. And then I was like, dude, it's 1:30 at night, but I was hungry. So I was eating some cereal. I get to work the next day and I'm not hungry at all. No appetite. My stomach is full. I ate a lot. But then it's like, yo, the grill closes at 10. I got to go get that omelet. And I would go and get that omelet. And then I would immediately be in the bathroom. So it was like, yo, you had no appetite, but I was hungry. So yeah. It was a mental thing. And that's when, so I read you online. I was like, that clicked. It's like, yeah. Oh, I get it now, So sometimes you got to go through things yourself and a lot of walks of life to kind of figure that out. Since you have that Panda hat on, good advertisement, good product placement. I remember I read the book a couple years ago, and actually it might have been last year in 2021. And the funniest part I saw was the origin of breakfast. Can you talk about the origin of breakfast and how that became to be a phenomenon that it is?
Yeah, there's a couple depending on what history you look at. But in Europe, go back a couple hundred years, and this is before unions, right, to protect workers' rights and whatnot. But sometimes these people will be out working in fields for 12, 14 hours, and they didn't get a break to eat, right? And so the idea to sustain themselves was to let's eat before we go in. So that's one avenue of it. And then the other avenue of the modern breakfast was really, there's a couple interesting points. Children that had trouble with growth, but that's kind of a fallacy, and people that had muscle wasting disease, so they could try to eat more to try to keep some of their mass on. And if you look at Kellogg, I think it was I can't remember what his first, Harvey Kellogg, I can't remember his first name, but Kellogg cereal. He actually developed his cereal to avert boys from masturbation and men from masturbation and for sexual purity. So there's a lot of weird stuff behind the actual.
In the morning?
In the morning. And we are eating his breakfast in the morning, not meaning that people would be masturbating in the morning necessarily, but it was supposed to kill that desire. And then if you looked at Bernays, this guy Bernays got linked up, with the farmers or the Farmer Association of America, whatever. They wanted to really bring bacon into the equation. I forget exactly the reason why off the top of my head.
Because it tastes great.
Could be, but I know that wasn't the reason. But so he's involved with big food industry type stuff. So what they did is link up and started linking up. People already had in their heads that eggs were a great sort, and eggs are a great food. But then they started linking it with bacon, right? That this is the all-American breakfast. This is for health right here. But it was a lot of corruption going on with the bacon piece. Again, I have to look at it. I don't even have that in the book, but that's something that you could find if you look it up. So breakfast, and then it's become a giant marketing machine, right? It's like, we know why people think it's the most important meal of the day is because they told you it's the most important meal of the day. There's no research for that. There's nothing. I mean, when you break your fast, it's the most important meal of the day or the week. But that's it.